Hello and good to see you in this video. And what is the topic today? You know what? I purchased this film camera recently at a second-hand shop nearby my house. It is a fully mechanical, compact 35mm film camera. I don't know if it's good or not, and I even don't know how to spell its name correctly. It could be Pierre Cardin or what else, I don't know.
Pierre Cardin. Pierre Cardin. Pierre Cardin.
But in this video I ain't gonna talk about this camera. I'll talk about how to remove its lens to make a DIY lens for my contemporary digital cameras in different systems such as the Sony E-mount or Micro Four Thirds mount. And I also consider making a DIY lens for M42 mount because I want to improve its versatility and I want to control the focus by using the helicoid adapter. The reason I chose this camera is because I want to make a prototype version before making a better version using the obsolete film camera from Japan. And another reason is because it's really cheap and I got it with only 100 Japanese yen. And all information I know about the lens of this camera is a fixed lens at 35mm and the aperture also fixed at f11. I'm not sure that 100% I will succeed in this project, but I want to challenge myself. So let's follow me until the end of this video to check if it is possible to make a DIY lens from this obsolete film camera. And after investigating, I know that this is a fully mechanical camera and it doesn't have any built-in flash, and therefore I don't have to worry about the electric shock for the whole process. At first, to remove the front cover, I have to take apart all the screws on both sides of the camera. Actually, I've had the privilege of taking apart the different camera bodies in the past 5 years, but this is my first time to disassemble an entirely plastic-based camera, and I found it easy for me to understand its innards and to disassemble. And on the next step, I'm gonna remove the lens protector. And after that, right off the bat, I can take off the lens. And then I'm going on with the lens holder disassembly, since I want to measure the diameter of the f11 fixed aperture on this camera without destroying the shutter located behind the lens holder. And after some investigation steps, I know that the diameter is around 2.5mm. So I have to make an exact 2.5mm hole on the body cap of the camera that I want to make the DIY lens for. And I get started with the Sony E-mount, but first of all I have to find the center of the body cap. And by the way, on the screen I show you how to find the center of a circle so that you can apply it to your case. And after double checking the drill side, I'm going on with drilling a hole at the center of the body cap. And on the next step, I'm gonna use double-sided tape to fix the lens on the body cap to make it easier for the next experiments. And in this case, the adapter depth is exactly the same with the body cap's thickness and equal to 7mm. And as you may know, the flange distance of a Sony E-mount full-frame camera is 18mm, therefore the flange focal distance is 25mm in this case. Nevertheless, I reckon the flange focal distance is a little bit shallow in this experiment, but I still want to give it a try. Before showing you the results and the rest of the video, give me a second to call for your help. Because I had to spend time to create this video, so it would be very appreciated if you could subscribe to my channel, because your subscription will help me a lot in raising this channel. And if you find my video informative and interesting, give me a thumb up please. And I'm willing to answer any of your questions, therefore don't hesitate to give me a comment. Thank you. And as what you see on the screen, the first and the second indoor photos were blurry. It could be because the focus distance wasn't correct. In addition, to eliminate the possibility of camera shake and to reconfirm the focus distance, I've taken photos outdoor in the better lighting condition from the different distances and in the various shutter speeds, but all the photos were the same. And I know that the flange focal distance was wrong and I have to modify it. And now the next experiment, I'm gonna make a thicker flange focal distance by using the M42 body cap, because I don't have a better way to modify the thickness of Sony E-mount body cap. And in this experiment, I'm gonna use 1mm double-sided tape from 3M to make the lens fix better on the surface of the body cap. Therefore, 1mm will build up to the final flange focal distance. And after fixing the lens on the surface of the body cap, I'm gonna control the flame's focal distance by using an M42 ring in combination with the M42 to the Sony E-mount adapter. And after taking the sum of all the thicknesses, the final adapter depth is 12mm. Therefore, the flame's focal distance is 30mm. And to make it different in this time, we will show you the results in the video first. Let's check it out. I have just had my car wash and I'm shooting with the Sony Alpha A7 Mark II and my DIY lens. And what you're watching on the screen right now is exactly the same with what I'm shooting from Sony Alpha A7 Mark II and my 35mm f11 DIY lens that I've made recently on this video. I'm not sure about the image quality, but I can tell you that is more my expectation, because at the beginning I just wanted to make a prototype version of this lens before making a better version using the obsolete film cameras from Japan. And one of the other purposes is that I want to confirm the focal length depth factor when making the DIY lens for the Sony E-mount full frame camera. But now I can either capture photos or shoot video without any problem in terms of focus, everything focus. And I want to share with you more about this lens on the other section of this video, and I will show you on the other section of this video. Thank you. And from now on I will show you the practical photos capturing using the 30mm flame's focal distance DIY lens in different lighting conditions and different places. But we keep silent and let you evaluate all the photos yourself, and we will see you later on the discussion part of this video. How do you think about the outcomes of this DIY lens? Please give me some comments. And right now let's discuss about the image quality of this lens. And as you see on the screen, I picked out some photos to discuss about the image quality. And at first, let's talk about this photo. If you watch the video from the beginning, you may know that it is a fixed aperture lens at f11. Therefore, I couldn't control the brightness of the photo by opening the aperture. And all the photos' brightness were controlled by either increasing the ISO or increasing the exposure duration. And as a result, all the photos look grainy in general, and there are no exceptions for this photo. And therefore I will ignore the grainy when evaluating the image quality of the all photos taken by this lens. In my perspective, the color rendition is acceptable and the sharpness of the image is quite good at the center but really soft at the edge vicinities. In terms of the purple fringings, it is no surprise in this result because it's a single element plastic lens, therefore it's hard to control the purple fringing, I think. And consequently, much of the purple fringing will be expected to appear in the photo, and it is inevitable. And now let's look at this photo. Likewise, as you may see on the screen, there are a lot of purple fringings appear at the edges of the objects, such as the branches and the power pole, and also at the tile roof of the houses over here. But the other things I want to mention in this photo are it looks really low contrast and the depth of field is slightly shallow despite the aperture is f11. Somehow the center area is clear but the corners are really soft and blurry. I reckon it could be neither because the focus distance of the lens isn't good enough, nor because the definition of the plastic lens isn't high enough to render a better image quality. And what about the image quality evaluation of this photo? In my opinion, it looks really low contrast, low definitions, clear at the center, but really soft and blurry at the corners. In addition, we can see the vignetting appear heavily at the corners of the photo. But somehow I love the image rendition way of this lens because it looks really unique to me, and the photo looks really vintage and old-fashioned. But after all, I want to hear your opinions as well, so please don't hesitate to give me a comment, because it must be appreciated and I'm looking forward to receiving them. And here is the last photo I want to talk about, because I'm really impressed with the color rendition in this photo. The lens can render to almost the same to the color of the flower is in the real world. And to me, the bokeh in this case also very acceptable and comfortable. And as you may see, the main object here is the flower, and it looks definitely clear and distinctive from its background. And after some evaluation, it dawned me that the focus distance of the lens is probably suitable for taking those photos with the objects stay around 1 to a couple of feet far away from the camera. Therefore, you can see the first and the last photos look better than the second and the third one. But on top of that, I personally love taking monochrome photos with this lens because when utilizing the black and white picture profile, I can eliminate the purple fringing completely, and all the photos look really decent to me in the black and white. In order to use the lens in the different focus distances and to enhance its versatility, I also made a DIY lens using an M42 helicoil adapter, and right now let's check it out. The making method is almost the same to that of M42 ring, therefore I don't mention about the making method here anymore. Because instead of using the M42 ring, you use M42 helicoil adapter, and the rest of the whole process are almost 100% the same. And after making the DIY lens with an M42 helicoil adapter, I recognized that I could only capture the photo in really close focus distance. And I think the focus distance here is around a half to 1 feet. Honestly, at the beginning I didn't know what would be the result of this project, but now I could get some photos look like the macro photos. I'm not sure they are true macro photo or not, but somehow I'm really happy and satisfied with this result. Before closing, I'd like to share with you the making budget and the result respectively to each DIY lens I have made in this video. So if you want to know more about those information, have a look at the following summary table. And that's all I want to share with you in this video. I'll be very happy to receive your comments and questions. And I will see you on the next video. Thank you and goodbye.